Boot scoop, boots, boom, boom, cat, cat, wobble, wobble, tss, tss, boom, bap. Yeehaw! Drop that wobble, big cousin. I like the way she wobbles when she walk down the dirt road. Booty jiggling like jelly on a hot biscuit load. Wobble, wobble, shake it left, shake it right. Girl, you got that country thunder, make my overalls tight. I like the way she wobbles, wobbles in them days. Dudes dropping it low like she churning butter, no dispute. Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, long hillbilly style. I like the way she wobbles, wobbles.
It's been a minute since you've ridden in this thing, huh?
Yeah, a year.
When's the last time you rode in this thing, Derek?
A long time.
Hell, it's been a year myself. We're gonna take this thing on down to the car wash and wash this pig up so we can then lift the body off of the engine and transmission, because the transmission is garbage, but it's good enough garbage to drive a quarter-mile down the road, wash it, and then a half-mile the other direction to get beer, and then quarter-mile back. So all in all, we're only looking at doing a mile, I think, if my math is correct. So hopefully it does that trip. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Like, this car sounds the best with those old Porter mufflers. It sounds like old school. The transmission, this thing is ungood.
Yeah, I noticed that when I'm back to.
Oh yeah, it's all jerky and fucked up.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I'm like, oh, it's the transmission.
As long as we at least have one forward gear. Not too bad, huh?
Felt like it was roasting the tires.
It was pretty good.
I don't know, was the transmission slipping with the tires? Something was slipping. Yeah.
Oh no, damn it. Don't these people know we have a General Lee here to clean?
Yeah, we're special.
Wait, I think one just pulled out.
Yeah.
Did it?
It looks like it. Hopefully nobody comes in from the other side.
Yes.
Yeah. Close the windows.
Does reverse not work no more? Oh, there it goes.
A little bit.
Kinda.
Just enough.
Time to wash its booty. So it's been neglected for a year in the desert in my backyard. It is pretty grungy, pretty dirty. And look, we have rat poop. A little bit of rat poop, so I don't know, can we call it like barn find since it has rat poop in it?
Backyard find.
Yeah. Backyard find. Here, Derek. Well, this is the part where we sit around and figure out how the car is going to fix itself. Yep. Well, we finished off all the beer and the car still has not made any progress. And we're going to attempt to try and make progress on my good old General Lee here. I need to get this thing back to tire smoking and towing my race cars and doing all the things that it was doing before, and even replacing the Dixie horn. I got asked so many times, hit the horn, and it was always broken. So I'm going to replace that even. So many things are happening to this car, and I'm going to start right now. All right, Derek has joined the group. Those are his legs that you just saw walking back there. He just took the other wheel off, and I'm getting ready to drain the oil. This car has really been put through the ringer with me. It has been abused. This is our third transmission in the car. I think it's the third engine in this car. The second suspension, third set of brakes, the second rear axle. This car has been used and abused, and well, I broke it again. So I'm gonna drain the oil, and I just cleaned out my pan so that way I can look at the oil, what comes out of it, because I'm hearing a little bit of tickety-tick noise sometimes, and I just want to make sure that the bearings are okay. Even though the engine's going to come apart, because I think we're going to change the cam, and we're going to fix that rear seal leak. But last time I drove this car, I was driving back from Tehachapi, California, and the rooster comb inside the transmission broke, and I only had second gear. So I drove, what was it, 250 miles home just in second gear, smoking the transmission fluid, or smoking the transmission. And the rear seal leaked so bad, I actually ran out of oil once, so, and it knocked a little bit. That's why I want to double check everything. But it was cheaper to smoke a transmission than it was to get it towed home. So I proceeded to smoking the transmission. Ugh. Now we're gonna see how effed is effed. It should be red because it ain't got a whole lot of miles on it ever since we took it back to the autocross, but
yeah,
it should be nice. And, oh no, it's pretty dark. It's pretty cooked, and that's all new fluid. Wow.
yeah.
Ooh, that smells nice and burnted. I don't see no shiny, flaky stuff. I didn't strike gold, so I'm thinking the bearings are gonna be all right, but we'll still pop a couple caps and check it out. I may end up putting different torsion bars in this thing, which I'm gonna have to pull right now, because these things are cranked in there pretty far, and this car sat way too low. I mean, it's the General Lee. This thing's supposed to be thrown around taller ride heights and off-roading, but these torsion bars are cranked up and it still sat all squatty, so you might have to end up swapping these out. Step 2. Well, you may have noticed when I was taking the wheel off that the old General has 6-piston Willwood brakes on it, and well, the only reason I did that is because it was already set up for Willwoods. It's just the 4-piston Willwoods that you can buy for B-bodies are garbage. Like, only good for lightweight drag cars. They advertise them for street cars. Do not buy them. They are shit. They are far worse than factory brakes. The calipers flex. If you want the looks of having brakes, then buy 4 pistons. If you want brakes that function, you need to get the 6 pistons. It's a larger pad, and the calipers have more cross braces in them, more surface area, and they don't flex nowhere near as much as the 4 pistons. Garbage. So that is why the old General has 6-piston brakes on it, because we also tow with it besides autocross stuff. Alrighty, fellers and fellerettes, the drivetrain is out of the General Lee. Bolt has been guarding it. Good boy, huh? Well, we can go ahead and start dissecting this thing, get the transmission off of it. I want to get the valve body off this transmission because it's a good valve body, and put it onto the donor transmission. Then I'm going to pull the engine off the K-frame and tear it down to the extent of putting a camshaft in it, flipping it upside down, and fixing the freaking rear main seal leak. I'm just going to eliminate the neoprene seal and just put a rope seal in there. I've got cars with rope seals that don't leak. Original rope seal, original rope seal, original rope seal, original rope seal. And those suckers, I can drive them and they're fine. But this engine here, for some reason, I have put 3 seals in this thing and nothing works. Only to find out that the crankshaft on some 440s, well, actually it's the block. The way the rear seal cap was cast into the block, on this engine, it is 55 thousandths off center. So I tried to offset the seal cap and it didn't work. I'm just rope seal and done. So that's what's going to happen. Cam and rope seal. And we're going to check the bearings, make sure it's good. But the oil that came out of it looked really good. It was just black. It was pretty black for having no miles on it. So abused? Maybe. What is keeping me from coming off of here? Oh, the starter? Alright. Well, I guess I gotta remove the starter first. You can't pick it up by the dipstick.
I know, I'm trying to find a
Down here.
Oh, right here.
Just go backwards. There we go. I'm a good karate chop. And by what I mean resizing, they're going to cut some material off the rod cap and then re-hone the center so that way it is perfectly true, because what is happening is the rod cap is like slightly offset from the rod itself, which is why it's killing one side of the bearing. But when you resize it and machine it, it will make it perfectly true, which is what needs to be done.
I just can't tell the difference, so that means we need to be faster. It doesn't matter if he's running that or not, we need to run faster than that. Could it take 100 RPM?
Ungood. We're gonna clean all that up.
It could take more to get yes.
Yeah. Wow, I just looking at myself for the first time in the in the camera. I'm pretty grungy looking after cleaning all these valves, but now these heads can be slapped back together. I'm just waiting for my new seals to show up, and go ahead and clean these up and make the cylinder heads more gooder. Get myself more prettier. Well, I got some good news and some bad news. We'll start with the good news. I had increased the throat of my valve seat for more airflows, more exhaust flow. We're putting a smaller cam in it, but if you put a smaller, and it's not a small cam, but when you put a smaller cam in a good flowing cylinder head, you get a really nice power band, which is kind of like the modern engines today. So I did do that. Actually here, so this is a measurement of the old throat. This is unported cylinder head. This is ported. And if you can tell, it's hard to tell, but that is more throat. The valve seat had kind of like an hourglass shape to it, which hinders flow. You just want the air to go in and out, not and then out. So these are E Street heads. I had ported these years ago, but I didn't spend a ton of time on them. I just kind of went through, cleaned up the bowls, and they're actually pretty nice. Like, let me get my flashlight here. So, you know, I had ported the exhaust a little bit more. The intake side I had ported before. They're, you know, I would consider a good set of heads, but now they're a better set of heads. Here's the bad news. The seat surface area, the sealing area, is all pitted up. And it's not like debris had gone through there and pitted up the exhaust valve, because every single exhaust valve is the same way. The only thing I can think of is, because these are your cheaper line of E Street heads, is that the exhaust valves are not as good. So I could get a valve job done, resurface or get a valve job done, get these heads all in tip-top shape, but the exhaust valves are most likely just going to do that again. So to prevent future failures, I'm going to buy a set of better exhaust valves. The intakes are fine. The intakes are perfectly good. There's nothing wrong with them. So then I can get them all slapped back together and get them on the faux foti. So just more monies. Dang it. Okay, we have opened the throat on our exhaust runners in the bowl. Now I want to increase a little bit of flow. I don't even know if this will make a difference, but at least in my mind it will. We're going to unshroud the exhaust valve. So I went ahead and Sharpied and then put the head gasket over this and then scribed where the edge of the head gasket is. Now if the piston is coming down and it's forcing air out the exhaust, well, if we can smooth that transition to get rid of the sharp edges, or even unshroud the valve just a tiny bit, like only probably a 1/16 of an inch right there, a little bit right here, just to help and funnel the exhaust out the exhaust valve, it'll help. So would I see any difference on the dyno with what I'm doing right here? Because these heads actually are unshroud the valves pretty good, but I don't know, maybe I'll gain 1Z, 2Z, 3Z, 4Z. In my mind, it's worth it because I'm already right here and I'm waiting for new valves. Time to fix one of the biggest issues that the General Lee has had from day one. It will never stop leaking out of the rear main seal. I have had 3 different seals in this thing. And there's other people that have exposed this as well, but they've never figured out why. They're just like, rope seal and done. Well, the problem is that on some 440s, not all of them, like the 440 that's in Smurf on the other side of this wall, That's got a 440 in it, and that thing doesn't leak a drop. And I did nothing special to make it not leak. I just put a regular neoprene rear main seal in it. This one has had 3 different neoprene seals in it. I've even see the problem is in 440s, some of them, the crank does not sit in the center of the seal. It's almost like during machining process, this wall and the seal cap was machined differently, whether it was sitting on the jigs, the dies, whatever held the block in place to cut the rear seal section out of it, and the rear seal cap was not square. This engine, the crankshaft sits 35 thousandths one direction. So actually it was this way. I could take a 10 thousandths feeler gauge and stick it in between the crankshaft and the rear seal on one side, this side here. I'm tired of that. Unless they make a thicker, more forgiving seal that will seal a larger tolerance. Problem is, these seals, oh yeah, I got the bald guy in the background. Leonard's hanging out today. So these rear main seals, they have such a small forgiveness on tolerance on up, down, left, right sealing capacity. Now, if you have a crank that's perfectly centered, then those will work just fine. And 383s, I have found to not have this issue, just the 440s. So I'm done with it. I'm putting a rope seal in this guy. I've already hammered that rope seal in, trimmed it, left just a little bit, like maybe 15 thousandths sticking up, and then the top side is flush, so I'll have like 15 thousandths of preload by the time I get the cap on. But make sure you hammer these guys in place, not heavily, just knock them in so they fill the gap. And rope seals have much more tolerance on sealing a oval-shaped opening, which is what the crankshaft is sitting in. So rope seal and done. Now I can bolt my engine all back together. I'm just waiting on parts. I ordered some new SI valves because the valves that came with the E Street heads are chit. And so we're gonna put much more goodies in the General's engine, make it last longer, go faster. Well, I don't know about go faster, but just as equivalent as it was before, because we now have better cylinder heads. So I think everything's going to work out perfect. All right, Leonard, make yourself useful. Grab the crankshaft. All right. I'm going to drop her in. Steady. Ta-da! Well, I don't even remember where I left off on the General's engine filming. I've had a few issues here and there where I've had to order parts, and it was just getting more costly and costly. Last night, I went ahead and shoved the camshaft in it, degreed it. I set it at 104, intake center line, and the Dulcich and I had confirmed that is the on-point place to put that camshaft. The camshaft, if I haven't said it already, here is the card. We are definitely going down in size, but not drastically. So it is a 230, 236. It is a 541 lift cam at a 110 lobe separation angle, which is how much the intake and exhaust are separated. And that should make it to where I have more low-end grunts for the General Lee and the 2000 torque converter, which I went down on that. The cam that wasn't this thing was more of a mid to high cam. Now we have a mid. So the low torque converter should be okay with this. Plus, advancing it at 104 should be an all-around good mid-range, strong, meaty, big block engine. More problems. Things I have to buy. Well, these lifters, which these are new lifters, I think I explained why I had to replace those. The old ones had some grooves in them. So I went ahead and bought some new hydraulic roller lifters, and these ones are supposed to help with high RPM. Not that we're going to buzz this thing real high, but the tighter the tolerance, the better the hydraulic, the better overall it's going to run. My problem is these lifters are shorter. So now my push rods are too short. I need a 250 longer push rod. So then I went and looked at the instructions, and it had informed me ahead of time, hey, you're going to need longer push rods. So, damn it. Just more monies, just poof, poof. I think this engine has eaten about $2,000 on this freshen up so far. Well, I'm kind of at a standstill at the moment on the engine. I've got the water pump on it, the balancer, the pulley, you know, they got the heads on it, the intake, the cam is in it, it's degreed. Everything is like perfectoed, but I need push rods. So the Gary Enlow up in Nebraska has donated some push rods to the cause. They're old push rods that are way too long, so we're going to cut them to fit, and that will save me like $250 not having to get push rods made for my General Lee's motor. So then I can use some of that money I've saved, and I can replace my cheapo parts store replacement fuel pump, because that thing will not support the horsepowers. Just going up Baker grade, pulling a trailer, which is like, oh, it's like a 12-mile grade that just goes 6 degrees. Well, pulling the trailer with a race car on it, this car would have run out of fuel. It's just not enough fuel supply. And it's not wide open throttle or nothing like that. It's just when everything gets heat soaked and saturated and you lose fuel pressure because of that, yeah, those pumps can't keep up. So we're going to up the pump, and we're even going to put a fuel cooler on it in front of the radiator, which is just a transmission cooler in front of the radiator, but it has fuel that flows through it. That'll help with some of the vapors. Well, since I am kind of at a standstill on the engine, that is going to force me to have to do something with the transmission. I don't like messing with automatic transmissions. They're just, I don't know, nasty. And like, you know, it's blood just flows everywhere when you take them apart. But I'm gonna have to. I bought a transmission off Marketplace, oh, it's like 6 months ago, maybe longer, and it's just been sitting here. So I'm gonna steal the guts, or at least the valve body, off of the General's old transmission. Just gonna take the valve body and the pan and swap it over to the new one. So hopefully my Marketplace transmission will function perfectly. Hopefully. Automatics are so grimy and greasy. Oh shit, and oily. Damn it. I drained this thing, but obviously there's a bunch of fluid still stuck in cavities and everything. At least this way I can get my valve body off and get it on the dry one. Oh. Smells like burnt transmission. I'm assuming the non-functioning part of my transmission might have something to do with these snap ring pieces that, it's a pretty thick snap ring that was inside the pan of the transmission. That is most likely leading to the cause. Bad transmission. Now, I am not an automatic transmission guy. I admit that. So before I take anything apart, I'm going to take pictures of how everything looks, so I can reassemble it into the other transmission with the same looks. Therefore, it should function. I was going to say function the same, but this one didn't function. Hopefully it functions better. Yep, so I need to take these guts and put these guts in that transmission. We're going to do a gut transplant, which is a valve body, and this is actually a Cheetah. It's a Cheetah manual valve body. which has been working pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it is you have to shift manually all the time. And I get it, manual valve body. But for daily driver stuff, I mean, you will wear out the shift linkage way before you wear out the transmission. I know, because I've had to replace that in the general already. Just shifting up and shifting down and shifting up and shifting down. Okay. I had found more pieces of snap ring. Yep, that's not supposed to be in there. So I will leave this transmission in the hands of Gary when he gets here. He can take this with him and rebuild it. So I will then have another big block transmission to use in my big blocks. Well, I got market placed. Transmission looked really clean on the outside. You can see it's got a new gasket. It had a new tail housing gasket. It had a new input seal, pump seal. And so I was thinking, yes, this thing is rebuilt. But upon further inspection, check it out, bro. That is ungood. So it sat and got a bunch of water in it, and it may have been rebuilt, but it sat and got a bunch of water and rust in it, and now I don't trust it, so we're gonna have to go to the backup plan. Oh, Marketplace got me. The backup plan. This is the 727 transmission that was in the 71 RT Charger that we took to duct tape drags. It still has the Scott Speed Shop converter in it, which is a buddy of mine. He has a speed channel. He has the YouTube channel Scott Speed Shop, and I had welded this converter to the flex plate when I had visited his place one time, because the bolts had stripped out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy on the engine stand and open it up, because I wasn't planning on using it right away, and it's been sitting here, and it also got rained on, and there's no dipstick in it. So I need to inspect it and see how bad it is. Get him, Bolt. Get him. Go get him. Go get him. Go get him. Who is it? Who is it? Go get him. Arr. Go. I maybe made a mess. I also got a haircut. Time to get plan B all cleaned up, change the gaskets, filters, and seals, and get it generally ready. Yeah, so right now I'm adjusting the bands, the rear band, the front band, and we're cleaning up inside the transmission. My fault, I kind of left it out and it got a little bit of water in it, but not bad. So we're going to clean everything up, new filter, new gaskets, new front and rear seal, even new shift lever seal, and get this guy ready to be bolted back into the General Lee, or at least bolted back to the motor, but I'm still waiting on push rods to finish putting the engine together. I guess I could just I could make progress and just assemble everything, and when the push rods show up, I just go ahead and plop them in. I might end up doing that. That's a good idea. I'm glad I thought of that. See, I will glue the valley pan to the cylinder heads. These are all glued down with silicone, and then I will trim the sheet metal valley pan to perfectly match the ports. That way I don't have any boogers hanging out there or pieces of sheet metal or nothing, because usually these are too wide. Usually this is too short, the high side. So you usually have to trim the top sides and narrow the divider up to get the sheet metal valley pan to perfectly mate to the cylinder heads. Now this valley pan's already been trimmed. It's been trimmed last time. I'm just reusing it. When I re-glued it down, I noticed there was a little bit of a lip up there, so I wanted to get rid of that, and just a little bit on the side there. See, another thing I'll do is I'll take the paper gasket and I will glue it to the intake manifold, lining up the bolt holes. And so after it dries, I will trim it to the ports so you can see how much lower it is on the bottom side than it is the top side. So I'll trim it up so it perfectly, see it's overhanging on this side a little bit than it is that side. Trim it all up so that way when I bolt the intake down and I see the bolt holes are lined up from here to here, because you can shimmy the intake manifold a little bit. Well, after this is all dried and trimmed, when I know the holes are lined up perfectly, I know that my ports are lined up perfectly to the cylinder head, so there's no offsetting. Maximum flows is what I'm after.
But Earnhardt is some 13 laps down to the leader.
Now, Mike Waltrip had been 5 laps down to the leader, but he has now made up 3 of them. So he's only...
Ah, good old NASCAR. Winston Cup NASCAR, the good days. They're all about speed and sliding around in performance, which is what I'm working on right now. So I was getting ready to bolt the intake for the final time on the General Lee, and I pulled the hat off the carburetor, well, not hat, the lift plate, and I realized, I'm like, oh yeah, I had never radiused out the divider. I'm running an open plenum spacer, just a 1/2 inch, on a dual plane, which works really well, but you want to round out the flat knobs there. Round it out so that way the air is not coming down and going poof, poof, getting all diverted and swirly like. So I'm going to go ahead and port this out real quick. Not really port, but just round it out, smooth it out so airflow won't get all turbulated. And then get this guy bolted to the engine for the final time. And I might even get the engine and transmission on the K-frame today. Check it out. Look how much more funnelish and how more inviting it is for air to get sucked into the intake manifold like this. Oh yeah, compared to that. So this side, air would come down, boom, get turbulated, then go around. So you'd have big voids of airflow around this sharp edge flat plateau versus the more smoothed out and aerodynamic. I even radiused it all the way in so that way this runner here gets nice airflow. Before, it was just flat plateau, boom, big turbulence, then go around here, then there. So this way is much more inviting for airflow. The Super Sucker Mopar wedge intake manifold can then go back on after I finish porting out and smoothing the other side. That's going to be way better on improved airflow. I mean, are we going to pick up 50 horsepower by that? No. But, you know, I bet we probably would have picked up 4 to 5. And it was free horsepower. chains are set, engine hoist is ready, all balanced out. Ooh, that kind of yucky noises on that. And we got our engine all assembled, almost all assembled. I'm still waiting on push rods, so that'll get done once it's in the car. But all the accessories are on it. Even got, look, check it out, got a new performance Elbrock fuel pump, because the fuel pump that was on this engine, it would run out of steam because it was just your typical parts store replacement fuel pump. And in the summertime, when the vapors were taking over, it definitely couldn't keep up. And the wintertime wasn't terrible, but now we've got a good Elbrock, and it has plenty in reserve. That's what I have on my other cars, and they work perfecto. The Hollies work good too. It's just that one was 10 bucks cheaper. Well, I can go ahead and jack this thing up in the air, way up in the air, and slide my engine and transmission under the car, so I can then drop the body on top of the engine like a top fuel car and get it all bolted up and get it back up in the air so we can finish assembling my General Lee. And just like that, magic, my 440 and 727 are back in the General Lee. Now for all the hookup stuff and accessories, like things required to run. Drive shaft, exhaust, ignition system, cooling system, accessories, carburetor, all that goodness can now be installed. And hopefully get this thing fired up soon. Oh well, when I get push rods. Speaking of that, I'm gonna call Gary. Where the hell are my push rods? Let's give Gary some shit.
Hey, let me call you back here in a bit.
All right.
Bye.
Can you believe that? He blew me off. Are you even feeling guilty?
Not even a little.
I mean, I've got this perfectly good 440 engine in my General Lee, but I ain't got no push rods in it.
Okay.
Where the hell's my push rods?
Well, they were supposed to have been delivered today. You better go over there and drag your sorry ass over there and look and see if they left them there. I don't know, what time do they come around to your place?
All time of the day.
Yeah, they've got to, generally they come around here in the morning, but this obviously is a lot smaller place than they have to deal with there, so, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna go inspect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's a box there.
Yeah.
And it says, oh, yep, it's from the great Gary Enlow Junkerup slow pars.
Yeah, that's the one.
You are off the hook then, because I'm recording this right now.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well, You'll be glad to know that I'm drinking a beer then, and you're not.
Now, if you guys have Wilwood brakes, you would have experienced this little problem here, but it's an easy fix. So here is our brake caliper bracket. Well, the nutsert that they put in here, this little bronze colored deal, well, it doesn't sit flush. It actually sticks up just a tick. You can probably see that. Well, what happens is all the washers that you use to shim it, well, they get concave. You can see that little indent there, and then the washer gets concaved, and it just makes it to where the washers like stick to the bolts, and it's not exactly great because then you have a little bit of, the caliper can wiggle a little bit. We're talking minutely, but still. If you just take your little air grinder or electric grinder or whatever, and then just flush it, it'll be so much better. So I guess I had forgot to do this side. I had the grinder out on the other side prepared to do it, and I'm like, oh, I did that side. Why didn't I do this side? So now I'm taking care of that. So you saw me sanding and painting torsion bars. Yes, these are actually the front springs for a Mopar. You Chevy guys are going to be like, what the hell is that thing? No, it's not just a steel shaft. This is actually the spring for this car. And I went up 20 thousandths in diameter on my front spring, my front torsion bar. The reason for that is I need a little bit more body control. Now this car is super fun to drive on the autocross. It would just automatically set itself up sideways going into the corner. It's just good times with this car. Only problem is it would corner entry like without even having to use a drift brake or anything. I mean, it would just automatically be loose on corner entry, and then once you're sideways, you can just use the throttle to control the attitude of the car. You put it at so much yaw, you got so much wheel into it, and you just kind of use the throttle to keep it there. Well, when the torsion bars are really soft and you put a lot of counter steer into it, it's not really changing the cross weights in how you want to get more drive out of it. And then when you try and say you're sideways, well, then you throw the car the other direction, well, now that's a ton of mass being whipped from one side to the other, and there's just not enough torsion bar to help control that. And this car was, you know, really hard to control, whipping it from one side to the other. You can do it, it just had to be at a slower pace, and it just wasn't as controllable. By putting a stiffer torsion bar in it, not only is it going to be better for towing, because, I mean, this car swayed like a mofo, but it will make the car more stable in the autocross for whipping around action. Maybe we can be a little bit more aggressive with it now with the stiffer torsion bar. And by stiffer, this is still way softer than a lot of people run. I mean, this is only a 0.92 torsion bar, which is like the factory RT size, which is soft when you're doing performance driving. The what was in here was a 0.90. So we're going up 20 thousandths, not a huge jump, but I'm thinking this will help out a little bit in our autocross fun. Plus the old torsion bars were just clapped out and they were maxed out on adjustment, and the car still sat too low. That was one of the big factors on doing this. Here we go. Okay, well, now that we've got it pushed through, let's go ahead and grease up both ends just a little bit, not a lot. All right, when you're pushing these things through, always make sure that the socket and the adjuster on the control arm side is all the way backed off, and you have the adjuster pushed down against the control arm. That way you can get them clocked, because if they're not like that, they usually will not go together. And this one is actually off-clocked a little bit. See, what's funny is the torsion bars came out with it set with the it backed off like this, but with the new torsion bars, well, not new, they're still old, but with the replacement torsion bars, I actually have to back it off more, which means the old ones were just stressed, they were just stretched out. All right, now stick our pry bar in there and push that adjuster down. There we go. Now see, oh yeah, it's going to slip right in. What is up? It is the next day. Well, the sun is up, obviously. Derek is here. I did a few things off camera, just little things, you know, hooking up the oil lines, a couple little accessory things, coolant lines. I went and hooked up some of the stuff under the car, torsion bar, you know, well, you saw the torsion bars, but just did a few things off camera that are not like wow factor, just to kind of get caught up. And we're finally at the point where we can put the carburetor on, the driveline, the exhaust, like things can start happening on this thing. You want to be the driveline guy, Derek, since you're used to handling shafts?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think you took the driveline out of this, didn't you? I think you did. Yeah. So you can go ahead and put the driveline back in, because then we can get the exhaust on. And I'll go ahead and start working on the carburetor. And then I'm going to have to make a run to SoCal Speed Shop to get a few fitting pieces that I need for the new fuel pump. And I'm really eager to see this thing fire up. Oh, dang, I forgot. I still got to do the damn push rods. I'm not looking forward to that. I got to cut and modify all these push rods in the box to make them work in this motor. So maybe today it will fire up and we can hear the glorious exhaust note of this engine. I'm curious to see how much the exhaust note changes with the slightly smaller cam. I don't think it's going to be all that different. Good old 750 double pumper. Horsepowers. The tarantula. There we go. All right. Get this thing all aligned back up to where it was. Nope, that's a tooth off. That looks about right. Okay. So as we're getting ready to put the radiator in it, I realized I don't have a shroud for this car. I had stole the shroud from the General because the General was broke, and I put it in patina, my 69 turquoise Charger. Digging through the junk pile, we found this one. It's been boogered up and broken and patched and whatever else known to it. And we're gonna try and use it because something's better than nothing, and free is better than paying. So we're gonna drop the radiator in here and see what holes will line up or mark new holes. Now I know this radiator came out of this car. The shroud is not. The oil line is in the way. Muffin. Oh, yep, those quarter muffins are a little heavy. Alright. Oh, hang on. Alright, if you want to go ahead and put the rest of the bolts and nuts on the collectors, we can call the exhaust done. Progress, little bit at a time. Worked on it a little bit today, got the cooling system all done. I even went and painted my Frankenstein shroud, and it, you know what, I think I could just go ahead and leave it on there. I'm waiting to get my AC lines hooked up and my blow-by system, because it's much easier to pull the valve covers on and off without all that stuff in the way. And the reason the valve covers need to come back off is there's still no push rods in that engine. They're right here. These are the donor push rods that a buddy of mine, Gary Enlow, had sent me. These are out of his 8-second drag car. I mean, if these were able to go 850s with Gary, then we should easily be able to crack the 7s with these. Just like that. So you saw everything I had to go through to put push rods together and get the valve train on the engine. And I was just getting ready to set my lash, or well, preload the hydraulic lifters, the hydraulic cam, hydraulic roller. And I was like, oh yeah, that requires bumping the motor over. And the engine has oil in it now. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't have any oil lines going from my pump to the remote filter. So I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be spinning the engine over until I get my new lines made. Luckily, I have a bunch of Red Horse fittings and hose. Check it out, all the blue and reds. I don't like all the black. I actually would prefer this to be chrome, or like the stainless. I just like the old school look. I don't like the modern blackout everything, because when you black out everything, there's no bling, there's no style. It's just a black blur. So I enjoy all the retro. Actually, I wish these came out in like a bronze or like a golden bronze, and like just, or like a stainless color, like a brushed aluminum, so that way they could really resemble race car stuff. Which, speaking of race car, the reason I have all those fittings is because they were leftovers from plumbing out. Ooh, no, that's ungooder. My bag has gotten uncovered on the engine a little bit, so I've probably gotten a little bit of just dust in my engine. That's okay. Oh, that's what oil filters are for. Except that's my engine now. That's not Mike's motor no more. Well, that's what all those fittings are from, is leftovers from the race car. So I'm going to use them on the General. Time to start mock. Man, why does the wind got to pick up? Especially when I'm doing motor stuff, the wind has to pick up. See, this is the old oil pressure lines, and you can tell my suspension strut rod bolt has been rubbing against it. And also, check out all the stress cracks that are now in it. And these lines are not that old, so ungood. This is Aero Quip hose. I don't know. Not going to be using this for oil line no more. This was last minute rush, and plus push lock is cheap, so I did it. But now that I've got some leftover good stuff, we're going to use it. Ooh, all fancy like. Well, I'll be glad when I'm done with this valve train. Only 6 more pistons to go on valve train, then plugs, wires, transmission fluid, coolant, distributor. The list goes on. See, I always set my lash where I watch the intake rocker go down, come back up, and then I give it just a little bit more so that way I know the piston is on the upward travel of the compression stroke, and both valves will be closed during that process. So now I'll just go ahead and set both valves, and then or set both rockers and move on to the next one bump at a time. So I'm not too impressed with these lifters so far. These are the Comp, I guess they're a higher tolerance lifter. They're kind of confusing to actually set the preload on them because they don't stay pumped up. What I've been having to do is actually, look, now it's pumped up. So knowing that, because I found that out on the other side, so then I realized, oh crap, I need to come back over here and check every single one and prime the engine to make sure the lifter is all the way pumped up. So maybe there's no spring inside this lifter to actually push it up. I don't know. All I know is I've never experienced that before. And these are brand new lifters. These are not old lifters. So I'm gonna have to prime, check, prime, check, prime, check on all 16 rockers. Never had to do that before. It's a beautiful day to start and get my General Lee running again. Last night I did all the little things, you know, installed the distributor, plug wires, plugs, you got, I mean, all the wiring, just the little things that, you know, you want to take care of before. Topped off most of my fluids. I just need to put, you know, a little bit of coolant in it. My oils are good. I put some transmission fluid in it, but I haven't, you know, checked it in neutral because it has to be running, and it's not running yet. But it is like the perfect day to make this thing breathe fire again. And I'm curious as to what my smaller cam is going to sound like. Is it still going to have that muscly rumble? It's not drastically smaller, but it is, you know, it's probably about 6 degrees smaller duration, both intake and exhaust. But it does have a tighter lobe separation and not as much lift. So it might equal out to where it sounds the same. Also, is this cam going to work good with my converter? Am I going to put it in gear and it go tut-tut-tut-tut-tut-tut-tut-tut? Or am I going to put it in gear and it still idles good? So that's what I'm looking for, is just more overall low and grunt. And I'm thinking I didn't lose as much top end power because we did a little bit of slight porting to the intake. We opened up the exhaust run, or the exhaust bowl, or well, the exhaust seat, and did a little bit more port work to the exhaust. So I'm thinking the overall max horsepower might be close to the same, plus or minus 5. But I'm thinking we should gain a whole lot more down low. Well, let's top off the coolant. I've already got my diagnostics hooked up. We got our vacuum gauge hooked up. We got our timing light ready. It still has the year-old gas in it that we're going to burn out. Yeah, things need to happen. Let's go ahead and crank it for a little bit and get some fuel pressure. Plus it'll help prime everything, even though I've already primed the engine a lot, because that, actually, you know what, that brings up a good point. I am a little worried about these lifters. It's like these lifters don't have a spring in them to help push the plunger to the top, because every time I went from one piston to the next to set the rockers, I would have to re-prime the engine to push the push rods back up. So it wasn't just like one lifter, it was all of them. So I don't know if these lifters are just designed differently, but is it going to sound like a Ford 5.4 liter every time I start it, then quiet up, or is it just gonna be quiet lifter noise right off the bat? So worries, I'm thinking. But anyway, coil wire disconnected. Oh yeah, it would help if we did that too, somewhat. There we go. Does anybody ever really tighten their battery cables? You know, because I've had that scenario where wires were smoking and you don't have any tools on you, so you just quickly jump out of the car, pop the hood, and just twist the cable off. So ever since then, I always just kind of like set the cables to where it's snug, but if I needed to in a hurry, I could wiggle the cable off. All right, let's crank this thing. Okay. Man, with MSD ignition, the spark is so just pow. I could hear every time it sparked while cranking. So I know we're getting spark. That was just zap, 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 zap. You definitely don't want to get hit by an MSD. Okay, do we have fuel now? We do. Okay. Sweet. Now we can hook this guy back up. Make sure nothing is in the way of stuff spinning. See if this thing will fire up. I don't know where the timing's at. It should be relatively close to firing. We'll find out. All right. Hey, hey, hey. It is relatively close to firing. Okay, that's gonna need more timing for sure. Oof. Throw a little bit, or a lot of it. Let's try this again. Oh yeah, that's better. I don't hear any lifter noise. That's a win. So the lifters aren't totally crap. All right, we have great oil pressure. Oh, our alternator is working. Will it idle? Okay. So our timing must not be that far off. Let's see if we can get it where it'll idle a little better. Okay. See what our vacuum is here. Oh no, we can do way better than that. We should be able to do way better than that. Well, now that it is running, let's quickly throw it in neutral so we can check our transmission fluid. All right, we're in neutral now. Because, you know, this transmission was bone dry and I just put like 6 quarts in it to put some fluid in it. So now that it is circulating, let's see what the level is. Yeah, definitely needs some. All right, transmission fluid is topped off, and guess what? There's no leaks. You might have saw a little dribble by the jack stand. That's just the transmission fluid that fell out of the funnel when I pulled it. But this car is notorious for rear main seal leaks, and it's so bad it would actually drip while it's just idling. Now, check it out. Yes, finally, rope seal for the win. Ah. It still has muscle car idle. Now, are we going to lose some of that lope when we get it all dialed in? We still got to set timing and everything. You know, we'll just go ahead and roughly set the timing on whatever the highest vacuum is. See, it just went up. So did our idle. Okay, we gotta get a little bit more. Oh, we just gained a little bit more. See, and I run straight vacuum to the vacuum pod, which on a cammed engine you really want, because it's going to give you more timing at idle, which these engines need for a cammed engine. Oh, see, it's not loping as hard. It actually sounds pretty good. It still has enough shimmy in the shake to give you the wiggle of the deck lid while it's open. Let's go ahead and set the timing now. It's actually, we might even be close where it's at now. And you never really want to start messing with the carburetor until your timing is correct, because the timing will change the draw on the carburetor. If it has more timing, the engine will run better, which creates more vacuum, which more vacuum sucks fuel more. So always set your timing first before you even start dicking with the carburetor. The carburetor was already kind of half-ass set because it was off of a running engine, this engine already. I've got it pretty good. I would actually like a little bit more timing at idle, but my vacuum pod is maxed out. So this, with the vacuum line disconnected, is 21 degrees. With the vacuum line hooked up, it is 31 degrees. So I'm actually gaining 10 degrees of timing at idle. And let me show you the benefit here. All right, look at the vacuum right now. So we're knocking on 15 degrees. Let me pull this off. I will tap my finger over the end. See? We lost vacuum because the engine doesn't have as much timing at idle. Now, with that disconnected, it is 21 degrees. I just checked it. Let's hook it back up. Watch the vacuum gauge as I hook it up. So I'm going to hook it up. Watch the vacuum. See? Look at that. We gained 1.5 inches of vacuum at idle, which that's efficient. We gained 1.5 inches of vacuum more efficiency at idle by running vacuum advance on a cammed engine. I was wrong. Actually, it's pretty good. We are at 38 degrees with the vacuum line hooked up, and we are 25 with the vacuum line disconnected. But the engine loves it. And you're probably thinking, 38 degrees of timing, that's way too much, especially when the centrifugal advance kicks in, you're gonna blow the motor up. No. As soon as you crack the throttle open, well, now all that vacuum advance gets taken away before the mechanical advance comes in. So it's a give and take. And when you're wide open throttle, you lose all the vacuum advance. So now you're just relying on centrifugal. So we're using vacuum to make up for what we're not getting. And that sounds way better. It'll get better fuel mileage. And when we're cruising the highway, we will end up with probably about 40 something degrees, 40 degrees of timing, which is great. Because think about it, the throttle blades are barely cracked open. We're not filling the cylinders with all that cylinder pressure. So we can get away with running more timing because the cylinders are not getting full of air or fuel. Now, I may need to crack it down just a little or not. The drive will tell me so. If it starts pinging just a little bit, well, I just crack it down a little bit, crack it down a little bit, but right there should be pretty close to good. See, I just double checked it. With the vacuum line disconnected, which is what you would be at wide open throttle, I have 32. Go ahead and hook that back up. Oh, look at that. It just became more efficient. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're actually 15 now. I'm kind of hesitant to look, but let's see if it's leaking any oil yet. Yes! There's still nothing under the motor. Winning! Suck it, neoprene seals. Yeah! Of course I hear belt squeal, but this thing sounds amazing. But damn, this thing has never been this quiet under the hood. Like, way to go, Comp, on improving your lifters. I mean, like, I don't even hear a lifter. Yes! I just hear that. All right, well, the one thing I was kind of hoping would be a lot better is only mildly better, which is putting it in gear at idle. Look. See, watch the RPM drop. Which it's not terrible. I'm losing about 200 RPM. I was only hoping to lose 100 RPM, but this thing's actually pretty good. But see, I went from a 112 lobe separation to a 110. I wanted more mid-range because the cam that was in this thing was for a big cubic inch engine, and which is, you would think 440 is big, right? But no, this cam was actually built for like a 512 performance engine, and it wanted a little bit, it wanted a 112. And so I bought the cam and lifter setup used, and I'm like, well, I'll just put it in the general. And well, I did gain a little bit on being able to put it in gear with the tighter converter versus the old 112. So it's still a win. It just lugs a little bit, because think about it, like, that's not bad, right? But now think about when I turn the AC on. Well, now that's going to lug the motor down even harder. So it might be one of those things with the AC on, I might have to throw it in neutral. We'll find out once I get the AC working again. But overall, still sounds amazing. Still sounds like muscle car. It's actually way snappier with this cam, because the torque converter that's in this motor now is heavy. It's like stock size torque converter, and it's only a 2000 stall. And the cam that was in this engine before, it was kind of lazy on spinning it. It was like, whoa, whoa. Now that this thing has way more low end grunt, it's just now, even with the stock weighted converter. So all around improvement. Man, it is way quieter under the hood now. Actually, like it. I actually approved these lifters so far. And I approved the cam. It just sounds good. Like, I don't think I lost any of the muscle car. think it actually sounds better than it did before. But it really needs a bath. Let's go ahead and take it down to the car wash just down the street, where we kind of started this video, and rewash it because it's been sitting so long and it's full of dust, and I can write my name in the windshield. Let's go wash it off and actually use the brush, because look, my belly has actually polished some of the fender. See how the hood is all rough and ugly and the fender's actually nice? That's all belly polishing. Let's go polish the whole thing. Oh, and I forgot, this transmission is reverse valve body. So drive is now 1, 2 is still 2, and 1 is now 3. I was, when I first pulling it out of the backyard, I'm like, man, it's kind of poopy. And then I went, oh yeah, put it to reverse, or put it into drive, and it was like, oh, that's okay, that's first. This thing might need an alignment. I don't know, we'll find out. If it's off, it's not off by a lot. So I forgot, first gear, well, third gear now. First gear is freewheel. So there's no decel in first gear, unlike Smurf. So first gear, if you rev it up, it won't go nowhere until the RPMs match the wheel speed. So there's no decel in first, which is kind of cool, because if you're, say you're cruising in second, you drop it to first and mat it, the engine will gain momentum before it actually snaps the drivetrain. Not snap, but I mean like snap the tires loose drivetrain. Probably needs just a little bit smaller air bleed on the transition. Oh. Let me feel it out. Yep. Needs just a little bit smaller air bleed for the transition slot. Tracks, I can see them. Oh, this thing has a way more low and grunt. Hell yeah. Yeah. Now that it's all spiffied up, let's go put some fresh gas in this thing. It just sounds cool. Oh yeah. First is now third. It's just cool when you roll through a parking lot all slow and you hear that, just that cam. I love that. Yeah. Well, overall, I love the performance of the engine, but These lifters, not so much, because when the engine gets hot and you shut it off and then you go to refire it, well, then it does like the whole Ford Triton 5.4 V8 where it's like, as soon as it builds oil pressure. So kind of annoying, but runs good. Yep, it made a little bit of lifter noise. Well, it's gone now. I need to get this thing in the backyard under the shade so I can install another necessary item. The Dixie horns. They have been broken for a long time and I removed them. And everybody is always asking, hit the horn, hit the horn. Well, when you don't have them, then they're all like, oh man. So we can't be sliding this thing around the autocross this year without having the damn horn. So we're going to install it. I got tired of buying them. I went through 3 horns. They only last about 6 months. And then they go from doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo to doot-doot-doot. Then they go doot, you know, about a month later. So they only last about 6 months. So in my eyes, you're really renting the Dixie horns than owning them because they don't last very long. My engine is looking quite blingy. I like it. Now if somebody asks me, does it have the horn? Yes, it does. So if that ugly chunk of aluminum is going to sit on top of this engine, we at least might as well make it functional. So I need to vacuum the system out and then recharge it and get all the cold airs out of the dash, because summer is a-coming. And while I'm sitting in the staging lanes waiting for my turn, I could just be going, ah. Going to suck it into a vacuum, turn it into space. Derek, fire it up. The system vacuumed out and we are ready to charge it.
Start it?
Well, yeah, isn't that what fire it up means? All right. Oh, I have the key? Oh.
Yes, I'm getting fired anyway.
Yep, there you go. Into like, oh, 15 or 20. Because it's not really that cold outside. There it goes. It's going. Lower, lower. Which means colder and colder. We are in the green. It is 14 degrees. When you rev it up, it gets colder, just at idle. This does not have an AC pulley system on it, so it takes a little bit more RPM to make it cold. But at cruising speed, at the RPM, this is about 30 degrees, which that will work. And while we're sitting in the car, feeling all cool, we'll be sounding all cool with this. Tell you what, guys, these next 2 weeks will be freaking blur. Between fixing my 69 Charger race car and doing some upgrades to it, that took up a lot of time. And then, to top it off, this freaking guy shows up with the Super Beater, which also needed a ton of work in a short amount of time, including engine swap, motor play, welding work. It was hectic. So not a whole lot of filming happened, but this is a separate video for later. So I'll upload that as soon as I get it edited. But yeah. And then someone didn't happen to show up. Oh, thanks for your help, Gary, but you know, we got it. You're good, you know. But we appreciate the help.
Yeah. Words of encouragement.
Yeah. It's okay, Gary. We got it handled. You can take your time now. Finally got there hours late on the first day of the autocross, and the first night we had a blast, and we were spending so much time getting caught up, didn't even have a whole lot of time to film, or even forgot it, just hanging out and doing car guy shit at a car guy event, and it was a blast. But then the general failed. There's no power steering. It's a handful to try and do that shit with no power steering. All right, I guess I need to get better on top of this YouTube stuff. We've just been having so much fun. We've been out here for a day and a half already, well, killing cones, smoking tires, and having a good time. That's what it's all about, getting these cars out. The General, it is actually running really well, but a few issues. One, passenger window fell down and it's stuck down. The power steering is non-existent anymore. I need to put a new pump on it. And well, the inside tires are, the outside tires are pretty much smoked. Those are slicks now, and they're old. So the General is being used and abused. Oh, only failure so far, other than the failures I just mentioned, is someone, maybe me, forgot to tighten an intake manifold bolt, and I guess it wiggled itself loose and was squirting oil all over the engine bay. So I found a bolt, stuck it in there, because that is open to the valley pan. We don't need your commentary here, Gary.
I'm going to give you commentary. Is the bolt still in there?
The bolt is still in there.
All right.
Yeah. I had Gary install this intake manifold for me.
Yeah.
With Pentastar Performance, if you didn't know.
Yeah. I put that stuff on there, it freaking stays.
But the General has done really well. I think I'm probably not going to run it too much anymore. Just there's no power, like I said, there's no power steering. The window is now fallen in the door, and if it rattles around in there too much, I might break the glass. So, but other than that, the General hauls ass. And besides those things, I haven't broke nothing. It has plenty of power steering fluid.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah. It's got plenty of power steering fluid. I was hoping that was the issue, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's just the pump doesn't make any pressure anymore.
Yeah, I need to rebuild it.
Yeah.
Or swap it or whatever.
It's probably blown in. I have a brand new pump that's already been modified for more pressure. It is yet again a couple weeks later, and the General is broke again. Simple thing though, but just annoying. The MSD box took a crap under the dash, so ordered another MSD box, and when that is here, I will have yet again my daily driver, General E. It is a great car though, and it gets a crap load of attention at an autocross, especially when you're flinging that thing around. That's a big booty to fling around, and when you're sideways, you really have to cut the corner early, because that's a lot of caboose sticking out that you don't want to take out cones behind you, which I had mowed down several in a few laps I had taken. So I should have probably got cone killer award, but maybe someone else took out more than I did. Great car. I love this thing. And you will see more of us thrashing the crap out of this car in future episodes. I just have to ball this episode up and get moving because I got a lot of other things I'm working on. I got to get this car finished up. We're working on it right now. I'm gonna get the top painted, and then if you notice, there is cars missing in the backyard. We've already been, what, Derek? Moving. We've been hauling cars out to the new property, so this is all getting thinned out, and we actually got to do some more loading up today. So we've got things to do, we've got crap to load, and still cars to fix. I'll see you guys next time. Be sure and like and subscribe, and click all the button doohickeys at the bottom of your screen. That's like the hype thingy or majigger, whatever that does. It all helps the channel. So see you guys later. Say bye, Derek.
Bye.
I'm surprised.